Go over to the Critical Drinker and subscribe. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. Alrighty.
Power of one.
Yes, yes.
Power of two. The power of many.
Yes.
Yes.
Episode 3 of The Acolyte was, without a doubt, one of the most devastatingly embarrassing spectacles I think I've ever witnessed on TV. 40 solid minutes of relentless, unadulterated, unapologetic, unaware cringe, distilled down to its purest and most toxic form. A show made by people who seem to despise not just Star Wars, but the very concept of filmmaking and storytelling in general. It's quite literally anti-entertainment made by anti-geniuses, and I do believe it may have broken what's left of the Star Wars fandom forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's an extra large bottle of toilet duck with my name on it, so let's get this over with as quickly as possible. The episode begins 16 years before the main events of the show on the piece.
Let me tell you something, what this show has done to me emotionally. I actually started to feel tired as I'm hearing him talk about how bad it is. Just. I'm just like, oh, God. You know, like I had sent a message to Theory the other day before he saw episode 3, and we were both just laughing. And that's why you saw me laughing so hard, reacting to him, because sometimes it's like you gotta laugh in order not to cry when you see tragedy happening before your eyes. That rhymes me to play the game. Bars!
Planet of whatever stupid name the writers concocted this time, and we get to see strong female character and strong female antagonist when they were still little kids. I know this because of the subtle visual cues, like the...
Yeah, so someone told me they didn't use twin girls for the little girls, but they use one actress to play twins for the older. That doesn't make any sense. Why didn't you just use one young girl to play both? Or twins. Doesn't make any sense. And not fraternal twins.
Them still having the exact same hairstyle they'll have 16 years later. Because as we all know, everyone chooses to stay exactly the same forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, strong female character and strong female antagonist live with their two mums in a coven of communist lesbian space witches that have chosen to isolate themselves from the rest of the Republic because...
Oh, I can't remember the name of the channel, but I was watching his video the other day. Last night I was watching it. And remember how I said, I'm just going to keep things surface level when I talk about this. Like, I've been down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theory, since my 20s and 30s. So, he went into it. And he was pointing out some stuff.
The galaxy doesn't tolerate women like them. Oh my goodness, I wonder what that could possibly be a reference to. The writing is so subtle on this show, you see, I just can't make out what they're driving at. Also, this is just a crazy thought on my part, but if you really want to remain hidden from the rest of the galaxy, maybe don't build your communist lesbian space witch community in a gigantic fortress on top of a mountain that's so big it can probably get seen from space.
Looks like a dam.
Are you dumb or something?
Anyway, this is where the show tries its hand at character development, and I use that word about as loosely as I'd use the term fine dining to describe a pot noodle. The two strong female twins are due to go through
that
a big
actually looked pretty
ceremony
good.
about as loosely as I'd use the term fine dining to describe a pot noodle.
It looks pretty good. No, it doesn't. It actually looks like, not ramen noodles over here. What is it? Cup of noodle soup, right? Cup of noodle soup? No. There's another one. There's another one over here, right? But it reminds me of cup of noodle soup. Yeah.
Noodle. The two strong female twins are due to go through a big ceremony to turn them into full-on witches because they were created...
I used to talk to this chick over in England, and she sent me a box of treats. And it just making me think how you guys have different food over there than we do. And she sent me those cookies that they serve on flights. I forgot what they're called. They're kind of like graham crackers, but they're not. They're really good. Sent me them, but she sent me digestives, which sounds like pills for digestion. Digestives. And they were the cookie cracker with a thin layer of caramel and chocolate. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm addicted to those things. Oh.
Without a father using the power of the Force. Sorry, the thread. But don't worry, we'll get into that soon enough. Believe that! But strong female character dreams of leaving the communist lesbian space witches behind and seeing what else is out there in the galaxy. Strong female...
I think that was the loudest believe that I've ever heard from him. Acknowledge me.
Protagonist, on the other hand, wants to stay right here and refuses to let her twin leave because she's a psychotic lunatic. I wonder if this is going to have repercussions later. So it's time for us to meet their mums. Strong female character number 4 and strong female character number 5, each of whom have slightly different perspectives on how to raise their strong female twins. Strong female character number 5 believes in discipline, caution, and suspicion of outsiders, while strong female character number 4 is more indulgent and free-thinking. And apparently she gets the last word on how they're raised because she created them with the power of the thread.
I carried them.
I created them.
Liar, liar, your pants on fire.
Now, you might have thought that Anakin was the only example
Liar!
of conception in Star Wars, but you'd be wrong, you bigot, because it turns out that not one, but 2 strong female characters got there like 100 years earlier. Why do I get Timeless Children and Star Trek Discovery vibes from all of this? Also, we might as well get this thread bullshit out of the way. So, like, you know how the Force has been one of the defining elements of Star Wars for almost 50 years, referenced in every single movie, game, and TV show ever made? Well, it turns out we were all wrong, because according to the lesbian communist space witches, the real nature of it is a thread that binds all living things together. It's not a power that can be controlled or used as a weapon like those mean stinky Jedi do. Also, it's funny because literally seconds later, strong female character number 4 actually does use the thread as a weapon.
And she overpowers.
How embarrassing.
Yeah, but when she talking about the power of 2, well, were they insinuating that the power of 2 was stronger? But she overpowered 2 girls. So whatever. I was paying attention. I was in and out. You know what I mean?
And the more I think about that, the more it seems like a perfect metaphor for people just like this.
See?
Claiming one thing and then doing that, the more it seems like a perfect metaphor for...
Told you. They're practicing their Hadoukens. I told you. Hadouken. Hadouken. Hadouken.
for people just like
win. Perfect.
this, claiming one thing and then doing the exact opposite without ever acknowledging their own hypocrisy. Jesus, imagine still being a Star Wars fan at this point and having to reconcile all these conflicting bullshit ideas in your heads.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, it's time for the most cringe-inducing scenes in all
Yes.
And that's really saying something at this point.
Hate that. Warn me before you throw that in there, drinker. There is.
When I saw this, I actually had to pause the playback, walk away, and really just let it sink in. This is a thing that actually got made. Real functioning adults wrote, performed, edited, and scored this, and at no point in the process did anyone raise their hands and say, I think this might be a bad idea, guys. This is exactly what happens when you...
I figure an actor in this, years later, if they become an A-lister, very successful, and they're doing a documentary on them. This is one of the things they're going to be like, in the beginning of my career, I did some things to make it that I'm not so proud of, Give me a minute. But, I'm glad that I was able to make great things later.
Take people who consider this to be thought-provoking art and put them in charge of a $200 million Star Wars show. Truly, George Lucas must be so proud of what they've accomplished with his baby. Anyway, luckily for us, the ceremony gets interrupted when the mean stinky Jedi show up to kidnap the strong female twins because they think they could be powerful in the Force or something. You know, it's funny how there seems to be this real concerted effort by Disney to paint the Jedi in the worst possible light so that they can be replaced with something more modern. Anyway, strong female character number 5 doesn't appreciate this much and uses the thread as a weapon, even though it totally isn't a weapon according to them, to threaten token white guy with annihilation. Because really, who else out of this extremely diverse group of Jedi could she possibly choose as her victim? Anyway, eventually strong female Jedi is able to calm things down.
Wait, I forgot. Attack me with all your strength.
Good guy tries to win strong female character over to his side by handing her a lightsaber to play with.
Are you dumb or something?
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, what if
She's
she
a
hits the
small
button?
child and this is one of the deadliest weapons in the galaxy. Is this really how you want to attract someone to your cause? Like, what if she accidentally ignites it and cuts her own head off? Fucking mission failed right there, you dick. Anyway, so the Jedi's plan is to test the strong female twins to see if they've got force potential, so the communist lesbian space witches hatch the genius plan for them to intentionally fail the test so they'll be left alone.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, 4-dimensional quantum mega chess going on there, ladies. Well done. Unfortunately, it all goes wrong when strong female character gets found out in a matter of seconds and decides to just pass the test anyway. So strong female antagonist does the smart thing and locks her in her...
Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just get two twin black girls? Well, I don't understand that. I know they could have found them. Like, come on.
A room and then sets her journal on fire in the middle of a stone hallway in a fortress that's made predominantly of stone. I mention the fact that it's made of stone so often because the fire quickly...
And it drives me insane too. And I think Fast, was it Fast 8? I think it was in Fast 8. Or Fast 7. I think it was Fast 8. They used two babies to play Dom's kid. And you can clearly tell that they're not the same baby. Why use only one? Did the parents pull the kid out before they could finish? And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was like, what was it? You know, I've heard that, you know, sometimes they'll use twins because kids are hard to work with, you know, because they're temperamental and everything. And, you know, I get it. You know, you tire one out, you can use the other one. I get that. But that's not always done. So, whatever, man. I just don't.
Spreads and then engulfs the entire fortress
Tired
because apparently in this universe stone is more
irritated
combustible
already
than a
thinking about
1990s
this.
shell suit. Oh yeah, and the communist lesbian space witches all die from boredom or something. Then strong female antagonist falls into a pit and strong female character gets rescued by Squid Game guy who agrees to take her to Coruscant and train her as a Jedi. But wouldn't you know it, strong female antagonist...
Why would his management do this to him? I don't get it. Or no, or maybe he's on board with it and he's got to do it. I don't know, man.
Actually survived and begins her revenge trip. Wow, who could have predicted that when we totally know that she's alive 16 years later? You know, reviewing this episode is kind of an exercise in futility at this point because really, what is the point anymore in complaining about nonsensical and contradictory writing, the horrendous cinematography, the wooden acting and the terrible dialogue? Those things are all par for the course in the Acolyte. You almost expect it now. The bigger problem now is that it's honestly difficult to feel much of anything for the Acolyte or Star Wars in general because I think this show is proof, if you ever needed it, that this is just how things are going to be now. Star Wars isn't going to be saved by anyone. It's not going to go back to the way it was, and it's not going to improve in any meaningful way because there's no one left with the will or the talent to do it. The Acolyte represents their ultimate vision for this franchise.
Yeah, right now, my interest is only in how bad it's going to get. I am truly intrigued, like a scientist studying humanity in a bubble. I really am. I'm like, wow, they're going to keep doing it. It's amazing. I can't bring the words to mind how astounded and amazing and fantastical this is that they're continuing to go forward with it. It's wow.
Guys, it's the perfect distillation of everything Disney and the so-called creatives at Lucasfilm want to inject into George Lucas's vision, and they're not going to stop. Kathleen Kennedy recently bemoaned all the criticism that she and women like Leslie Headland have taken for their creative decisions because the predominantly male fan base just can't seem to recognise their genius. Well, congratulations, Kathy, because that seems to be a problem that you've gradually solved with every new show and movie that you've produced. If there's no fans left at all, then there's no toxic male fans left either. Genius! So in that respect at least, I guess you've kind of won by default. Congratulations! Star Wars is all yours now. And this here is your prize, an empire of dust. A franchise in ruins. And really, I hope it was all worth it. I hope it was worth the billions of dollars you've blown on failed projects over the years. I hope it was worth provoking the contempt and finally the apathy of millions of Star Wars fans that have just chosen to walk away. I hope it was worth it to have a legacy of absolute failure. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
He sounded sad there. That's not a song. Go away now. Just tired and sad. Look what you've done to the drinker, Disney. Look what you've done to all of us. Oh, God.